We're live, and Carrie's bringing stuff in. Yes. Oh, it's time, Carrie.
Oh, it's time.
It's time, and we live. Thank you.
Where do you want these?
In my hand. Perfect. All right, thanks. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let me get a couple things here. Hope everyone's doing well. Amy just went next door to grab my power cap. I don't know if I'll need it, but maybe. But let's see what we got going on. Looks like we got Homer Lux, Julian, Chris, Weeval, Jim. Hello, Jim. Mike Taylor. Who else we got? Fish and Doodle? Doogie? I don't have my glasses on. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to make a ring. And I am Chad from Turner's Warehouse. Amy will also be on the mic in just a sec when she gets back. And she'll moderate. If you have questions, feel free to throw them out there. Questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk about. No problem. No problem. All right. Frederick, Roman. Hey, Roman. All right. Let me get this on here and we will get started. Oh, you know what's interesting? Oh, I've got drill bits. I was thinking I didn't have any drill bits here, but of course I do because I got all my kit list stuff. So I will use that. What? Yeah, it sounds like there's tons of people talking out there. Talking outside. Amy is in the room. Thank you for getting that. Amy's wearing a beanie, even though it's hot here. It was cold in this room because I had the swamp cooler going all day, and then I just shut it off for sound purposes. But
Chad's freezing me out.
no, not freezing her out. So Amy is wearing an Elixir wax hat, and we just got stock. I've been testing it. Turner's bowl finish. I've put this on 3 or 4 bowls, and 4 bowls. We really like it. So we carry this now. It reminds me a lot of Odie's oil, which we used to carry, and then our distributor stopped carrying it, so we stopped carrying it. But we really like this stuff. It's made in Idaho by a bee farmer, right? Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Awesome. That's kind of a cool thing. So we'll do a demonstration on this later, but I just mentioned it because Amy was wearing the hat.
And controversial opinion, it's better than Odie's oil. It's real nice. It smells good.
Yeah, I don't know how you could say if it's better or worse than a different one. It's just different, but it reminds me a lot of it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so I'm Chad. Amy's on the mic. You got your mic? Mm-hmm. If you guys have questions, comments, holler. Looks like we got a lot of good people in the chat, which everyone's always willing to help discuss things. But let's show you guys what we're going to make first. We're going to go to this one. So we're going to do a comfort style ring. Now, you guys have seen a lot of ring demos from us. They're almost always channel rings. Oh, wait, before I get going, is there anything I need to mention?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the mic is not working. Is it? Does it say it's picking up?
The red, so you got to push the button on the other side. The other side. No, you're not on. You got to power it off and power it back on.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I've done it twice.
Is it charged?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Why isn't it connected? That's what it means, is it's not connected. No, the battery is dead in this one. It's showing the battery's dead.
I mean, it was sitting plugged in the charger.
It must not have been sitting all the way like cradled. Something must have blocked it from sitting all the way down. All right, Amy will not be on the mic. Amy's mic's dead. At least this one is showing full power. That one is showing completely dead.
Sorry, guys.
So Amy, if there's questions, Amy can ask me and I'll repeat. But back to it. Back to the name of the game. So we're doing a comfort style ring, which normally we do the channel ring where we fill it in and then do the channel. This is a cool way to do it because the ring is on the inside and then you have the top outer side, which can be anything. This one's Fordite. I'll try to show these. Here's another Fordite with steel. This was Fordite with ceramic. That's why it's white. This is a resin and pine cone with ceramic on the inside. Here's a steel with wood. These look really cool. And then you've got another, whoa, I dropped it. Amy, can you grab me that so I don't lose it? It's right there, that little, in the sawdust that would never be found. This is blue ceramic with Fordite. As you can tell, I really like Fordite. Steel with Fordite. Look at the waves. We have Fordite ring blanks, and sometimes you get lucky when you turn it, they're all wavy. And then this is a steel one where I wrapped a fake $100 bill around it and then built it up with epoxy. So this one's a little different style, but the same kind of ring core. So there's those samples. I'll put them up here one more time. If you guys want to see any at any point, let me know. But that's the kind of thing we can make with the ring core. Whoops. There we go. So you can do wood, resin, Fordite. You can just do paper and build your own. I've done this with other mediums and stones and things. So a lot of fun. But this is what it all starts out. This little tiny thin ring. I mean, this weighs nothing. It doesn't feel like anything in my hand. That being said, the ceramic is very tough once it's made or once it's, like this. But what you got to be careful of is expanding it outward and breaking it. That's what the issue is. Oh, hey, I'm going to need a ring mandrel to fit this. Would you mind grabbing me one? I forgot to do that. Yeah, so we're going to use for this, we're going to use a collet chuck with a 1/2-inch collet because the ring mandrels are 1/2-inch collet. We're going to use a regular chuck with some waste wood in it, as you can see here. And this was just like somebody, I think Amy or Carrie was turning a top, and this was their wasted part. So I am keeping that. I'm going to flatten that off and use it. And then we're going to use a ring mandrel. We will use a drill chuck and a boring head, which we'll get more into all these items as we go. But those are the things we're going to use. You don't need all of these things we're going to use. You can get by without a boring head. You can just use tools. It's just a little more, you have to be more precise and careful. You don't need a collet chuck. You can use a drill chuck to hold your mandrel. You don't even really need a mandrel. You could make a jam chuck to hold your ring and it would work. So don't let not having the tools limit you. These cores are relatively inexpensive. I think the ceramics are like $7 and the steel are $3. So you can make really nice stuff really inexpensively. Now, I will say one thing before we get started. I have tried to make like wood cores and resin cores. Resin on resin holds up pretty well. Wood is too fragile. On the inside, it tends to break up. And unless you have a thick outer coating, which you generally don't, it's not strong enough. So I don't like wood for the inside, but wood is fine on the outside. Using steel or ceramic or carbon fiber or something, it'll definitely last longer. All right, before we get started, any questions? Anything I forgot to mention? Okay. All right, so this is a size 9, number 8, meaning 8 millimeters wide core. And this is one of our blanks. This is called the Hurricane. This is actually the one that they posted the other day saying it looked like the dog. It does not look like the dog.
Totally looks like my dog.
That's, you guys can be the judge. They're saying that looks like the dog. I don't see it at all.
Flip it over upside down, looks like a mushroom.
I mean, maybe a mushroom, but not even that.
You legitimately can't see it?
Yeah, I cannot see it. It's just a bunch of colors. So this blank is cool. It has clear on the top here, and I don't necessarily want clear on the edge of the ring, so I'm actually going to position this to where I'm going to use more of the color. So I'm going to glue this onto my waist block a little off center on purpose. So you'll see what I mean by that when we get up to that point. But let's get started. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a chuck on, which I've done, and a waist block, and I'm going to flatten this off, and then I'm going to grill my blank. I'm going to glue my blank to the waist block. There's other ways you could do it. You could probably hold this in a chuck. Maybe we should do it a different way. It's always fun to do something for the first time a different way, right? Normally I would face this off and glue it right on there. Oh, but you know, if I do it in a chuck, I can't do it off center. So we're going to do it the old way. If I didn't need to do it off center, I would try the chuck holding. Because you could essentially hold this, drill it, and do the fine tuning of the hole without using a waist block. But since I don't want to drill it dead center, we're going to do it. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, see, people in the chat are like, yeah, it totally looks out.
Yeah.
It looks like Dexter, it looks like...
Those people in the chat are just being nice to you crazy people.
No, it looks like a lab. Somebody even said...
A lab? Come on. A labradoodle? All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I haven't made a ring like this in probably a year. And it's funny because during COVID year, 4 years ago, I think I did this demo like 20 times on Zoom for clubs and different things. For that year, rings were just insanely popular. So let's do this. Any chance I get an opportunity to use my new bowl gouge, why not, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to flatten this off. Whoops. Stop. I'm locked. No, I'm not. There we go. Oh no, I'm on the low speed. I was bowl turning. That's all right. So I just want this flat. It doesn't have to be a certain size or anything, but it needs to be flat. I probably would be better off just coming in and now I got to get rid of that little nubbin. This is just a little prep. And I don't necessarily want it concave because I want it to glue up flat. So I'm just kind of looking to see how she looks. So we'll stop this. Oh yeah, I'm still high right there. Oh, Looks like my inside here is high. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if I have a high spot, I'm definitely going to not have a flat blank. Darn it, Amy, I'm so sorry. Do you mind? I dropped the blank again. Actually,
The Dexter blank.
that looks pretty good. That's pretty flat. Okay, so what I need to look at is where my center, where I want my center to be. So if I hold the ring up here, and I kind of want the center to be like right there. So I'm leaving still probably a 1/4 of an inch, and then there's plenty of room around the edge. Make sure I can see that. So I'm going to bring up my tailstock with a live center in it. I'm just going to make a mark here. So I haven't glued it yet, but I'm going to press on it so I have a hole for my live center. And then I'm going to get some glue. And I'm using BSI, that's what I always use. It's my preferred glue. Make sure I got my right side here. So this is the live center side. I'm going to put my glue on the blank. And I just kind of squeeze it all around. I want to cover it good. If a little drips out, that's okay. And then I'm going to spray my wood with accelerator. And then I'm going to quickly put this on here and push it up. Whoop, not that quick. Boop. And I'm going to put a little pressure. And there's accelerator on there, so that'll help cure it. But I can also spray it around if it's there. Now, if you look, you can see how at around that is. But that's because I wanted my hole where my live center is. Amy, who do we got in the chat? I named off a few people earlier.
We got Matt.
Oh wait, you got to try
Mike.
your mic. I forgot about your mic.
You can hear me all right when I'm talking live.
Oh, can you? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it like 20 minutes and then put them.
Sorry, you said Matt, Mike, Julian,
We got Jim Spalding.
Jim Spalding. Jim just got his hoodie in the mail.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I saw his email.
Collins is in the chat. He just picked up an Envoy and
Oh, nice.
put it together like out of the crate by himself. Which
Oh,
is
wow.
Very impressive. It's very heavy.
Yeah, real heavy. Very good, very good. Well, thanks for coming in, everyone. Good to have everybody here.
We got a question.
All right, what's the question?
Do you find it necessary to like sand the block or the blank before you glue it to the waste block?
Oh, good question. Do I sand the blank or the waste block before gluing it? No. If it was super smooth, I would have, but both were, like this was cut right off of a saw, so it had a little bit of roughness, as well as that block had a little bit, I kind of even had some tear out and a crack from whatever this was. So it actually was probably enough. Now, that being said, I say that and now it could just come loose, but we'll see. So normally no, but if you feel like you should because it's smooth, definitely do it. That's a good question.
Would two-sided tape work just as well?
Two-sided tape, I have used it, but it's been years, and it works if it's good two-sided tape. They're not all created the same, I'll tell you that. If it's good quality double-sided tape, it'll work. Definitely cover the whole surface, though. Don't just put a little like square in the middle. Cover your whole blank and put it on there and give it some good pressure to seat it, and then just keep an eye on it. I use the glue method because I always want to cut it off anyway, so it kind of makes it easier for this type. But the two-sided tape is just fine as long as you got good stuff and it works. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to drill this. And I've got a center drill here. Yeah, see that thing wobble? It looks weird, but that's what we wanted, so it's okay. So we're gonna center drill. And the only reason I center drill is because it gives my drill hole a much better start than if I just put it up to an uneven surface, which is what it would be. All right, now I'm gonna grab a big old drill bit. This is a 9/16. And what I want to look for is I need a drill bit that's big enough to give me a starting point. Let's see, where'd I go? Nope, right here. Big enough to give me a starting point, but I don't want it close to the size of my ring. If it's too close to the size of my ring and your drill bit isn't perfect or your tailstock, headstock aren't perfect, you might get a little bigger hole, and you don't want that. So this is plenty small, yet still big to get started. So I'm going to load this guy up. And I don't even know where this drill bit came from. I hope it's sharp. It's very short. Probably came out of a box of randoms from somewhere.
What came out of the box of randoms?
This
ring?
drill bit.
Or the drill? Oh, I thought
It's
that
a very
was-
short 9/16. Sometimes I'll buy something at an auction or something. It'll have, a bunch of drill bits in it. Why not use them? All right, so I'm going to slow this down to like 700.
Hey, shout out to everybody who's been doing wands this
Oh,
month
yeah.
as our challenge. We have got some of the coolest wands posted.
Yeah, I've loved looking at those. And we're still working on ours here. We've done a couple runs, but nothing has been finalized. But we will be posting wands soon.
Tomorrow, I'm going to try and work on one.
Oh, is tomorrow your wand day?
Yeah. I'm going to try a different, harder piece of wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, her first wand was out of a piece of spalted, and it didn't work out. All right, so I'm just drilling through till I hit the wood. Once I get wood shavings, I know I'm far enough. There's some wood. Now, obviously, this blank was bigger than I needed for this ring. If we look at it overhead, maybe, you can see I've got probably almost, not quite double what I need. So I don't have to go all the way through. But in this case, because the drill bits are tapered and whatnot, it's good to have a little extra room. Okay. I gotta be honest, that looks real close. Boy, I hope I didn't misalign it. It looks real out of center, which I know it is because we did it on purpose. But I hope I have enough room here. Yeah, I will.
Chad, did you see Mike Homerlex? His wands that weren't wands, they were drumsticks.
Yeah.
They were pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool. Very cool, Homer Lux. All right, so this is a boring head, and it is quite boring. I have not used this in quite a while. So what a boring head does, I believe these are for metal working mostly. But a boring head allows you to make micro adjustments with this dial. So you can just move it over a fraction of a millimeter, half, quarter millimeter, whatever, and kind of sneak up on your sizes. When you're doing rings, the downside or the hard part about rings is there's not really drill bits that match the ring sizes. Now you may find one here and there that match, and that's great. But overall, they don't really match because every ring size, half size, whatever, is going to be different. And then every ring manufacturer, if they're making even the same thing, they might make it a tiny bit thicker, tiny bit thinner. It's going to be a different size. So I don't ever measure these for the size because it doesn't really matter. What I do is I'll drill a pilot hole like we did here. We'll use the boring head to sneak up on this size. And what I'm looking for, I want this just to slip in nice and straight. I don't want any wobble because that means the hole's too big. I want it to just slip in, and I'm going to coat it in glue and slip it in, and that's it. That's what I found to be the best. Now let's talk about that real quick. These can't really have a shiny surface. So On the inside of this Comfort Core ceramic, it's smooth and shiny. On the top side, it's a little more rough, and that's on purpose. If this was smooth and shiny, it would not hold the glue well. But because it's not, it'll give it a little tooth, as they say. You can scrape these and get a little more on there if you want, but it's real hard on ceramic because it's really, really hard material. 80 grit sandpaper sometimes will give you some scratches, but not even that, it's not much. Usually what people use, and I don't think I have one handy, is the dresser for a grinding wheel. It dresses your wheel and like flattens it. Those usually have diamonds on the surface, and that will scratch this up. So if you have one of those for your grinder, you can use it to scratch up your ring. Most of these that we have come with a more rough surface so that you don't have to do that, but it doesn't ever hurt to do more. So I'm going to keep the ring handy, and I'm going to bring this up and find out where I need to adjust this to. It's actually way one side here. I don't know what I was doing last. So what I want to do is get this up to where my cutter is touching the left side of my hole, because I want to cut as it spins towards me. I want to cut into it. So I need to have plenty of room for that. Now the other thing, depending on your cutter, you may have to angle it so that the bottom of the cutter doesn't hit your hole, especially when you're doing smaller rings. Imagine this is my ring. If my cutter is rubbing on this part as I'm trying to cut, it's not going to be accurate. So sometimes if you rotate the cutter to where the cutter head is a little angled, that'll give it clearance, because then that'll go into the center of the ring. So just keep things like that in mind. If you get a boring head, it depends where you get it. If you get it from us, they come with 9 different cutter sizes and lengths, and that's good because you can use all different sizes. Let me grab those real quick.
You want me to get it?
I know right where they are.
Okay. We're totally trying to think about what our challenge will be for next month, which is already May. That's crazy. So if you guys have ideas, let us know.
Challenge time. So here's an example of another cutter, and I'll go overhead. You can see how this one is like thin and small head. This one is bigger with a much bigger cutter head. So one may be good for other things, but you may need to size up or down depending on that bottom of that tool, because if it's hitting your hole, it's not going to work. I'm going to put in this bigger head. We'll try it and see if it hits. If so, I could show you. So I'm just going to put that in there, rotate it a little bit. All right. And now I'm going to advance this a little more. Where'd it go? It's hard to see from the backside. There it is. Uh-oh, we're locking up here. We're locking up. All right. I need to come back this way. For whatever reason, we're going to have to flip this. And I don't know what I was using this for last. Probably rings. I mean, I used to use it for our kitless stuff a lot, but now that we have the tenon cutter and other stuff, I don't really need this as much. So it's a Morse taper, so you just want it to lock into your Morse taper. Give it a popsy. All right. So let's see if I'm clearing. Nope, not quite. Nope.
I don't think I've ever remember seeing you use it for anything but rings.
So there I'm scraping. Yeah, rings mostly, but I would use it for custom pen stuff quite a bit. Okay, so now I'm just inside. I scraped a little bit. So what I can do is turn this on, and I'm going to go relatively slow. And by slow, I mean like 600. And then I'm just going to advance. I want my tailstock loose, but I don't want it flopping around. So this is like up almost tight, but not quite. And I'll just advance it in. And we should see some nice shavings coming out. And there again, I don't need to go, there's my shavings. I don't need to go the whole way through. So what I could actually do is kind of eyeball how much past the cutter my ring is. And then I'll know. So I know, because we just kind of lined this up, that I can actually make quite a bit of a move here. So I'm going to take off a little more this time. More than I might normally, because I got a ways to go. So I'm going to hold the head, slowly advance it. And just hope I didn't take off too much. Oh, lock your tailstock, people. That'll help a lot. Now, what I can do is eyeball this.
Chad, this is very boring.
This is like the boringest thing you're going to see all day. That's for sure. It took you guys long enough to make the first boring
It was.
joke.
Mike did it.
Mike who?
Homerlex.
Homer Lex to the
That
rescue.
was really good.
All right. So hopefully you guys can see on that camera a little bit. It's got quite a ways to go. Probably another, if I'm looking real close here, millimeter at least, maybe more. Now, I could get out the calipers and measure, but who wants to see that? Right? So this time I'm going to turn it on. Whoop. And I already had it locked down, that's why. See what a difference locking down your quill makes? And I'm going to come out a little bit.
That's funny.
There we go. And now I'll advance it in. And this is kind of slow and literally boring and tedious. But if you don't do this, you won't get the sizing right. And if you do it, if you try to rush it and go too fast, you're going to be making a different size ring. So the downside, if you go too fast, is it won't fit your ring. The positive thing is at least you could just make a different size, because there's a million sizes. Yeah, this is pretty boring, right? Boring head.
We've got Mike Taylor turning his lathe into a toad because he tried to make a wand.
Turning it into a what?
A toad,
I see.
fairy tale style.
All right, we're not too far off. I definitely had more than a millimeter there, but hopefully you can see that hole on the video. It's a nice, clean, straight hole. Probably the most important thing that the boring head does is it makes your hole go straight in. When you're using a tool, especially, I mean, I use carbide, it's real easy to have your hole go like this or like this versus a straight cut. So probably the best thing the boring head does is makes the hole straight to where you don't have to worry about, you know, not getting a good glue line or something. All right, so I'm going to just keep advancing this tiny bit more. Oh, I always go the wrong way. Now, I will say, if you do this all the time, you're going to get much better at this. Not having done this in a while kind of is weird again.
You're doing good.
Oh, thanks, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Fine and good.
It's all fine and good. It's all fine and dandy.
I've watched you do it this way, and I've watched you do it just with your carbide tools. And I'm pretty excited about the matchup of this Dexter ring,
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
because on the white ceramic, it's going to be pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Come on, lathe. Gotta hit the right button.
Folks very much dig the idea of doing the first live stream of the month on whatever challenge we have for that month.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Then I won't feel the pressure all month to get mine done. Plus, it's more fun. Okay, we're like probably another cut or something away. Oh man, look at the color of this blank. Hopefully you guys can see it.
This might be a silly question, but if you have a tenon cutter, could you use that to do this? Or does that just cut from the outside?
Well, the tenon cutter, could you use it? I'm sure you could.
Oh.
You'd have to figure out how to do it, because the tenon cutter is all about having those steps or those setup blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So they use a shaft in the middle for setting up depths and things. So I'm sure you could. You just have to figure out a way to set it to the right size, because the thing with this is I can make micro adjustments by just twisting this Allen key.
Yeah.
Whereas the tenon cutter, you have to loosen the whole thing and then move it physically to where it may be tough. Oh, we're almost there. It like just is starting in the surface here. It probably would go in if I pushed it, but it'd be tight, so I don't want to push it in. So the tenon cutter, yes, but no, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here and turn it on.
It looks so weird because it's not centered.
Yeah, it does. It looks really
Like
odd.
while it's spinning.
So I'm just kind of making sure my hole's square. And I'm all the way back where I need to be. Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely precision tool.
Yeah, it's just a little more for this. Oh, there we go. Oh, look, I didn't go all the way back. I stopped early. But that's a pretty good fit. See, it's actually kind of tough to get out because it's sliding exactly straight in. So what I'm going to do is just take my boring head and line it up in that same spot. And I'm just going to go in because I was just a little shallow. So it will not take much. That should be more than enough. All right. Boy, if the colors come out that I'm seeing here, this is going to be pretty cool. Okay, that's perfect. So that slid in exactly how we wanted it. And I've got like maybe a 0.5 millimeter on this side, which is pretty great. So what I'm going to do now is kind of some prep for in a minute. I'm going to kind of mark this about how much behind it I have to cut with. And it's not going to be exact, but it'll give me a little rough idea when I go to part this off, how much room I have to play with. Whoa, boy, that was a mess. Oh,
Folks in the chat
it's
are
out
saying,
around. How funny. It's going up and down because it's not centered. Oh, well. Yes, folks in the chat?
folks in the chat are saying that like you can't count what you do on the stream as your challenge turning.
Oh, really?
You have to do 2.
Okay. I actually would agree with that because Like this month with the wand, my whole plan is to turn my wand and then do some wood burning on it, which I'm really wanting to do. So I wouldn't be able to do that on the stream, so that makes sense. I can dig that.
Here's a good question. Is the boring bar carbide tipped or high-speed steel?
Good question. Is the boring bar cutter high-speed steel or carbide? This is high-speed steel. The ones that come in the sets, you get like 9 different ones, are high-speed steel. You can get different cutters for this though. It's just this shaft size, so you just got to match it up. So you can get different cutters if you want to. Cutting stuff like this, you probably will never even sharpen these because we're just not cutting much at all at low speed. But you can still sharpen these because they are high-speed steel. So yeah, good question. Any other questions on the boring head before I put it away?
Mm-hmm. Is there a threading bit on the boring tool?
A threading bit? Like to do threading on the project?
Maybe.
If you mean, can I put something on this to do threading? I don't think so, but there could, no, that wouldn't be the right thing. No, not, this is mostly just for cutting. But it's just a way, you guys saw how I could just move it slightly to the side and just kind of sneak up on the cut. And I took a couple of bigger cuts early because I knew I had plenty of room. And then the last ones I was just barely, I don't know if everyone could see it, but I was just, literally I go in rotation, so I'll be like quarter, half, full, whatever. And that's kind of how I do it. Okay, now the fun part. We are going to glue in this ring. So I'm going to first take some lacquer thinner and a paper towel.
Oh, so you know I'm mic'd now, right?
Oh, you're mic'd, cool.
I've been mic'd for like a half an hour.
And I'm just getting the dust out of here. And I'm going to wipe off this ring too because it's been sitting around. So obviously I want to let this lacquer thinner flash off before I put my glue on it, which will not take long. Amy's mic'd. I did not know. All right, so we'll let that.
When you repeated my last question, maybe you didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was only unmiked for like 10 minutes, maybe.
Oh, 10-minute unmiking. All right, let me move a couple of these items while we wait. We don't have to wait long because this is not going to be that big a deal. I am going to throw down a cover so I don't drip glue on here and spray my stuff all over the bed.
Lathe buddy.
Lathe buddy. That could be a live stream drinking game. Lathe buddy. All right. Now I just used, oh, weird. I put it away. No wonder I couldn't find it.
You guys heard it here, folks, first.
I was like, I
Chad
just
me.
used the glue. Why can I not find it? I put it back
Carrie,
in the glue
are you
box.
listening?
No, Mike's the one
Carrie,
who would have to
Mike?
listen.
Daniel, are you listening?
Okay.
That's pretty funny.
So I'm going to glue this in. And I'm going to do this way. I'm going to put the glue inside here. And I'm mostly going to keep it at the front. Come on, glue. But I'm going to kind of use the nozzle to spread it around. And I'm using thick CA. You could use 2-part epoxy. Probably would be better if you have time to wait. But I don't want to make you guys wait. Oh, there we go. I didn't want it to set on me. So I'm going to let that sit there. I'm going to see if I can spin this at all, which I cannot. And I'll spray this on the ends here to kick off anything that's visible. And there we go. Our ring is in there. I say we just leave it that shape. It's kind of unique. What do you think? This will be the top, the high side, and then the bottom is your inside of your finger. Okay. So what is cool about this now is we have this mounted to our lathe, and we can use our lathe to like turn stuff, right? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just surface off the side with my easy wood tool. And if I touch the ceramic, I'm not going to hurt it, but I also don't want to like dig into it. So I'm going to be real careful. Let me just make sure I don't feel any glue. So I think we're okay. But we'll do this. So we want a little more speed.
Vinny says if we're turning the live stream into a drinking game, it will need a later start, but I'm on board.
Yeah, that's funny. Now I don't have to be perfect, but I want to get as close to that ring as I can without really smashing into it. Ooh, that actually looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Let me zoom this camera in more for y'all.
Want me to do it?
I think everybody liked having more zoom. I could be wrong.
People do like to go fast. Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Gerard says it looks like a Flintstone ring.
It does. It's kind of weird looking. Like it looks like the big part is, you know, like the rock on top of your ring.
Mike also says I am off center today.
Wow, that's the name of our group, Off Center Turning.
Aren't we all? Off center turning riffraff.
So that feels really good. And it's nice and flat. So if you drill your hole or cut your hole and it's a little too big, you can also get the edge of your rim crooked and I'm exaggerating, obviously it wouldn't be this much, but if there's room in the hole for the ring to move, then your rim might not be the same. So when I went to do this, it would be real hard to get all the way around up to the ring. But in this case, it's pretty much, let me put my glasses on.
That zoom does look real good.
It's pretty much right on there perfectly. So I'm going to do two things now, and I'll leave it here so you can see it. So one, I drew this line that you can see. I want to cut it off at that line, but first I want to take down this ring because I've got all this extra material, and it's a lot easier to turn here than it is to turn the other way on the mandrel, because mandrels aren't always exactly straight. So I'm putting on the power cap. Come on, power cap. And I'm going to use the Easy Wood tool. You could use whatever you want. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in this way versus pushing across, because if I push across, then I'm going to put all that pressure on the glue joint, whereas if I come into it going against the head, I'm not putting the pressure on that, I'm putting it against the chuck. So we could even come in sideways here and do little bits. I'll stop it. So see, I'm just taking it down closer to size. Obviously I still have a lot, but that way I'm pushing on the wood and the chuck rather than across. So I'm going to reposition this for an easier cut. Try to get my hand out of the way.
Mike says if you want the outside of the ring also to be perfectly flat or a specific size, you could use the boring tool to do the outside as well.
You absolutely could. Excellent point, Mike. You can shape the outside with the boring head. The reason I don't is it just takes longer. And you can see I'm getting like real fat ribbons off this because I'm essentially just cutting part of the blank, because part of it is air. We got air and then we got the blank. And I'm not doing anything for like the final shape of the ring. I'm just getting rid of all that material. And I'm kind of trying to watch my line so I know where to slow down. You could use any carbide for this. You could use a spindle gouge, whatever you like. Whatever you've got. You know, I think Carrie's doing one of these tomorrow. So I'll just leave
Yeah.
this on here, Carrie, and you can use this waste block.
That's perfect.
So what you all are going to see is it's going to start to look more ringish and less like an out of round oblong thing. Now we're still out of round a little bit because I was not cutting anything on this side, but I can kind of creep up on it a little bit because we're going to take off quite a bit of this material still, because you don't want your ring crazy thick. At least I don't think you do. See, once I got the bulk of that away, it really cuts easily. Now the other thing is, you know, oh, I was kind of tapering inward there. I better be careful. I might have cut it a little shallow. The other thing is, I don't want to, I need to part this off. Oh yeah, I got way out of whack there. How did I do that? So I need to part this off, and I need to have a clean spot to do that. It almost looks like maybe, I thought maybe something loosened up on me, but it doesn't seem like it. I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this, because I cut through my line without paying attention. So that's all that add around material. And one thing I needed to keep in mind, and I really didn't, was that my carbide is not a square. It's got a radius to it, so it has a little curve. So I probably just curved it in there, not thinking about it. So it looks like I'm down to the wood. So I can grab my detail tool and take away this final little step. Nice and easy. And then what I can do is start my parting with the detail tool. You know, I could kind of shape this a little bit. Whoops. I don't know what I'm thinking going to that side. Kind of take it down a little bit so it's not a square edge. But let's take a look at this thing. Oh man, that blank looks so cool. That is killer. Nice. Nice choice, Amy.
I mean,
This is our hurricane blank.
they have so much like clear throughout them in spots that
I don't
thought
think
it'd
I
be really cool.
promote our top choice blanks enough. I know we use them quite a bit on stuff, but we're pretty good at making cool blanks, and this is a cool one. It really shows the layers and the spaces in it, because it has clear, blue, brown, and white. That looks pretty cool. All right, let's bring this in. I'll get rid of this little nubbin. So I don't know exactly where my ring ends, but I know it's inside of this. So I'll just use this carbide to separate here. And I don't have to go the whole way, because obviously an angled carbide is not going to cut it off. But I do have a parting tool. So, oh, come on now. So as long as I'm on the inside of the ring, I should cut clean when I hit the hole. Although maybe I didn't get the hole that far back, so I may have to part all the way through here. There we go. So what you can see is this is the side we had first. Let me put this down. There's our first side. And then that's our back side. So we parted and there's still some of the resin here. So we'll get rid of that here in just a sec. And there's our waste block. So our glue held up real nice. Kind of looks like an art piece for all the art lovers. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out. We have to clean up the back of that ring, but we can't put it on a mandrel yet. Anyone know why? Of course you do.
Why?
Well, Amy, I'm glad you asked. Because the mandrel won't go through there because there's plastic. Here, I'll show you. Well, there's still plastic on the inside of the ring because when I parted it off further back beyond the ring. So now I need to turn up to that ring. So I need to find a chuck that will hold this thing. Hello, little guy. Will you hold this? You know what would probably work is a pen jaws, which everybody should have. But I'm going to throw this on
really
here.
Cool.
Huh?
It just looks really cool.
This is the victory chuck. Don't ask me about it because it's been a nightmare. With the tariffs, these got held up from delivery. But these little inserts are 45 mil dovetail jaw. Sorry, I started thinking about how I was going to line this up. Looks pretty good. Now I'm not going to tighten this crazy, but just enough to turn it. Because I need to turn that plastic off, right? Because the plastic is on the inside of the ring. I at least need to get close. It doesn't look too bad. I'm going to use this guy because I can be a little slower. Now this time I am going to push across because I want my pressure going in, not pushing the ring backwards in the jaws. Oh, like it just did. Because I didn't tighten it much. I'm not trying to damage the resin.
Myra's in the chat.
Myra, how's your face?
Which is very exciting because people were asking after her. And so I sent her a text to be like, Myra, we love you. How's your face?
All right, so I tighten that up again. I'm not over tightening this because I don't want to mar my resin. So I'm just going to take it slow. We're not in any hurry here. And I could literally just go inside the hole and clean it up to like fit the mandrel in there, but since I'm on this nice zoom in camera, we'll just kind of do this because it looks cool. Oh, Myra's here. What the heck? I wanted to give a demonstration.
Don't you do it.
Don't do it?
Don't you do it.
Myra
You're totally gonna
will
do
appreciate it. So I wanted to show everybody, is Myra listening? So when you wear a shield, this is less effective than this, right? So watch.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm just teasing Myra because Myra hit herself and her shield was up. So she was like, dumb mistake, shield up, we've all done it. So I just had to give her a little harassment.
I love that I'm like, don't do it. And Myra's in the chat being like, do it, do it. But then I'm like, I hope everyone knows we joke with her like that.
I'm totally just teasing you, Myra. You know that.
She knows. I hope everyone
I gotta
else
be honest.
knows.
There will not, if you go to a demonstration or a symposium anywhere,
Oh, man.
there's not a time that the demonstrator will lift their thing to talk or to do something and forget to put it down. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, it does happen.
It just
to
was
everybody.
bad luck that your tool caught on you. Oh, let's get back on this. So we're almost to the ring here. Myra, we hope your face is okay.
Myra says she's laughing so hard she's dying. I knew that would make her laugh. Chad knew that would make her laugh too.
All right, so I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm getting close. See, I got to turn my tool or the bottom of the carbide will hit the plastic. Yeah, we're just joking with Myra. We've all made the mistakes. That's why we all can joke about it.
It's true. She says, I'm just looking tougher. Scars are cool.
Scars are pretty cool, so yeah, you're
Scars are
good.
pretty cool. And she's back at her lidded box already.
Good. I was really glad to hear you were turning a lidded box. That's cool.
Next time you come down to the store, you'll have to bring it to show it off.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. Let's see if we did it. So, if you get up, we got a little bit more. If you get right up to the ring and there's a glue ring on the inside, which there will be because obviously we glued that plastic in there, the glue ring will just pop right out because of that smooth ceramic, which is why you can't have the smooth ceramic on your glue line for the blank, if that makes sense. Let's see. And we did shove the whole ring. Oh, yeah, it's starting to pop out with my finger. So I think we're probably safe to put this on now. Let's see what we look like here. We're going to do just a tiny bit more. Anything we can do with the lathe is much easier than by hand. So just get a little more of that resin out of the way. And I'm just sneaking up to that ring core. It's one of those things, if you hurry, it'll end up costing you a lot of time in the long run. So I'm just kind of rubbing it on there, getting that cut. All right.
Can the ceramic inner of the ring be turned to make the ring thinner?
The ceramic part, no. Ceramic is more brittle. So it would not be good to do that because you would definitely break it. So ceramic's super tough, but if it gets hit, oh there, see? Nope, I dropped it. If it gets hit in just the wrong context, it'll shatter. So like you could drop a ceramic ring 50 times and nothing would happen, but on the 51st, if it bounced just the wrong way or caught just the wrong angle, it would actually break. Most people, if they break these ceramic rings, break them in the chuck. And I don't mean the chuck like I have here. I mean like on the mandrel in the chuck, making the ring. Because the ring is super tough, but when you put the mandrel in and expand it, it totally compromises it. So you got to be super careful. I'm going to grab my little deburr. And as long as I don't hit the ring, the ceramic, I'm just going to stay in the glue here. Oh yeah, it's popping it loose. Just right. So I'm really angling this to catch the resin, not the ring itself. Ooh. There we go. So the whole inside is clean. Oh, one little spot. A little more glue.
We're talking in the chat about how talking about accidents that happen or things that happen are good because it reminds people about safety.
Yeah.
And Jim was saying that he had a kickback on the table saw a couple weeks ago. And then I'm like, table saws scare me more than any other tool.
Yeah, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, especially a lot of people who post online, want to pretend like everything always goes well and they don't ever have accidents or whatever. But that's just not the case. Everyone has accidents on this stuff because you're doing stuff that's, you're sticking a ragged piece of wood in a lathe and spinning it in your face and holding a knife up to it. Like, things can happen. Table saws, same thing. You don't even have to do the wrong thing on a table saw. If something, a loose piece falls into it and catches, it can pull your hands in and things. So
he said he had an internal crack on a small piece of wood and it hit him in the shoulder.
yeah, so it doesn't have to be that you did anything wrong. It could just be bad luck sometimes. But you do want to be super careful and wear your PPE and your shield down and stuff because anytime anything can happen.
Nice.
Okay, so ring mandrel. I don't know if anyone saw because we were talking. I took the center screw out. This is the tensioning screw. When you tighten it up, it expands the sides out. And I just kind of squeezed the mandrel and pushed and pushed and pushed and got the ring onto this next step. And I'm not going to use the screw because it's tight. I think it's tight enough I can turn it. But more importantly, I don't want to crack that ceramic because that's the problem area. Now I'm going to use a collet chuck for this. You could use the chuck like I just had in there. You could use any 4-jaw chuck. You could use a drill chuck, whatever you've got. I have a collet chuck, so I'm going to use it. If you are looking for a collet chuck, because people do ask, we now have one made in America. So we have it's a black chuck. Do you remember, is it 59 or 69 bucks?
Sorry, I was reading
It's either-
the chat. What'd you say?
No, you're
the
good.
boring head?
No, the chuck. It's
Oh,
either
chuck.
59 or 69, and it's made in America, and it's awesome. We've always been looking. We used to carry this one. This is a Beal, and then Beal closed and sold to a Canada company, and we haven't been able to get them. But now we've got the made in America ones, and they're super nice. So if you need one, there you go.
$59.99.
Can't beat it. I think these were like $89 just for the chuck, so it's even a better deal. Now, one thing we're going to all see here, these ring mandrels are not the best in terms of centering. So what you have to imagine is there's 3 pieces of metal that every time we put that bolt in and out, it moves the metal in and out. And so sometimes the metal bends evenly, sometimes one bends more or less. These are rarely ever centered. So this one doesn't look terrible, but I'll show you guys. You'll probably see some wobble here. When it first starts, I'm going to stop it again so you can see. Amy, what's up?
People are talking about accidents now.
So just watch right here, you'll see the wobble. So not ideal, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn it down close and then we're going to sand it finish. So I'm going to grab my carbide and I'm going to use this diamond with the negative rate because it's real gentle. And I'm going to bring the inside and I'm going to round it. And one thing that this ring is, I don't know if you can see it, but this side is higher than this side because of how I turned it when I said I was slanting on accident. But I can feel the out of round here, so we're going to do our best. At least when we're sanding, it won't matter as much. Amy, will you get me a water bucket when you get time?
Yeah.
No rush.
We got a story about a needle coming off or sewing over your finger.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, and then having the
sounds
needle
terrible.
break off inside. That's why I was having like a big reaction. I was like, ah. Sink
So
Vegas.
resin, obviously everyone probably has worked with resin by now. If not, get on it. You know, resin sands and shapes really nicely. So I'm just kind of doing the bulky stuff here. and I want to get it fairly even. Amy, tell me if this is too thick. I'm going to hand you the ring. No, you can just look at it. I don't want to pop it off there since it's ceramic. It actually looks cool. It's a little thick. Is it too thick, you think? Let's compare it. I mean, it's quite a bit thicker than that one. That one's real thin, though. What do you think?
I would take it down a little bit.
Take it down a little?
Yeah.
Done. So we're going to take it down a little bit.
A thick ring looks awesome until you put it on your finger. And then
Yeah,
you're
they're
like,
not
"This is very
comfortable, right?"
uncomfortable."
So we're just going to keep side to side. We're just going to take it down. Like I said, I don't want to put a ton of pressure on it because it's just being held on the mandrel with tension. So I'm just using the back part of my blade here, just moving that into it. We'll kind of shape the outside a little bit.
Bye, Marquetta. Marquetta has to sign off, and she goes, "I'll ring you later."
Ring you later. Ring you later, alligator.
Marquetta and Roman are the best at puns.
Oh, that's good looking shape. Starting to come real nice. There we go. Looking good. So I'm just going to round over this edge a little bit. And this edge a little bit. And then I think we're going to go to water. We're going to sand this pup down. So, let me stop this so everyone can see it. Really cool layers. It almost looks like a Fordite type layering. Actually, you know what it kind of looks like is surfite, the resin, because they're layers like this. Go this way. All right, we can shape this pretty nicely and polish it. We are going to use 600 grit sandpaper and Zona paper. And I will tell you what those are here in just a sec.
I think this is going to be really cool.
Oh, you think so, Amy?
Yeah, and I feel like because the blank was Dexter's face, this ring might have to be mine.
Dexter's face ring. Okay, so let's see. Do we want to go over? So this is 600. We're just going to turn it about 700-800. What are we at? All right. And we're just going to kind of shape and sand, get all of our tool marks out. And we want to make sure we push up against the side here. So by giving it up on this side, we're going to get it sanded right up to the ring. And that will allow it to be really smooth. If you don't sand up to the sides, you'll have little sharp pockets where there's glue or material exposed that you didn't touch with the sandpaper. So we just want to keep kind of shaping and sanding. The thing is, there's no walls like on a channel ring. So we can kind of shape this if we want it like domed in the middle, if we want it flat, whatever we want, we can do. So we're just going to kind of...
So folks are looking for that collet chuck, but I think we only have the 1 1/4 by 8 and not the 1 by 8.
No, we have both.
We do? Oh,
We have both, and we have more coming in like 2 days.
okay.
But we do have both in stock, I think. No? Oh.
No. And then people in the chat are like, it's sold out, it's sold out.
Oh, if you guys want one, hang on because we're going to have more in like 2 days. I know they're already on the way. They shipped a few days ago. It's worth waiting for.
Yeah, they're powder coated. They're really nice.
Well, they're not even powder coated. They're what's called black oxide.
I lied. They're that.
And
They're
it's
real
like
nice.
super durable. It's the same same as this, how these are black oxed. It's just like colors the metal. But they're all really nicely done. All right, that's looking pretty good. Those colors are looking wicked. Can you guys see the colors on there? I'll let it sit for a sec. because I keep moving it. Let me grab another piece of sandpaper. I need to bring more sandpaper over.
Do you want me to go grab some?
No, I got another one. So I'm doing everything wet, the sanding. Sanding and polishing, always wet. It's just my belief is it always looks shinier and better. So I always do it, and I always recommend you do it, but you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, man. So I'm just kind of making sure I'm getting the edges nicely. Once I go to my polishing paper, I'm not really able to shape or remove tool marks. I'm just making everything shiny and smooth. So the sandpaper is doing the work. So you just got to make sure it's all how you want it. All right.
Oh, this is a good question. How much can you sell one of those rings for?
The question. I've been waiting for this question. How much can you sell one of these rings for? Now, ask 10 people, get 10 different answers, right? But you asked me, so I'm going to tell you. This ring, this particular ring, ceramic core, $3 blank, so I'm in it for $10. I would sell it for no less than 90 or 100.
Yeah.
That's just me. Some people would be thrilled with 40, and if you are, that's cool. Do whatever works for you. 4 times your cost. You see, it's not taking very long, and I've been talking a bunch. So if you got good at this, you could probably make 3 an hour. So you could make 3 of these in an hour, sell them for $50 a piece, $150 an hour, minus $30. Cost $120 an hour. That's pretty good return. We sell some stuff. People will just come in the store and be like, hey, how much is this? And we don't really want to sell our displays, but we do all the time for $40 and $50, and people are thrilled like they're getting the deal of a century. So I would probably, if I was doing shows or put this on my website, I'd probably be at 90 or 100, especially for the ceramic core, maybe 100. Watch part rings, 100, 125. I mean, rings are a great return on your time. The only thing is they're all sized, so you got to be size aware because you can't just make 10 and they fit everyone. You got to size them. So sometimes you have to take custom orders for rings, which is fine. Do it. No big deal. And if you make a ring and you size the inside wrong, like I was showing you earlier, and you need to make it, just make that ring and have a sample. Okay, I'm going to Zona paper. Zona is 6 sheets, different colors, ranging from 800 to 22,000 grit, and it's for polishing. So this is like micro mesh or magic juice, any other polishing system you use. I really like Zona paper because it's 6 sheets and I get a great shine out of it. Some people will just use 1 or 2 of the grits, like Zach Higgins only uses 2 and then he does liquid polish. I use all of them and I love the shine. Everything in our showroom and most of our displays that I've made are all with Zona paper. Good questions, guys. Gotta figure out that stuff that works for you and make it and sell it. Here's the thing with selling, and I always say this, so people may have heard this before. When you make stuff and sell it, you're going to make some stuff that's quick and you make some money on it and it didn't take you much, but it looks cool and it's quick and that's fine. But then some stuff will take you hours and hours, and it's harder to get a good return on that because it's harder to get multiples of hours. So I used to make pens that would take, 10 hours to make. And if I only made those, I'd make good money when I sold them, but they're rarer to sell because not everybody's going to pony up the cash for something that took you 10 hours to make. Whereas if you can make a ring in half an hour and make really good return on it, you need those to supplement the rest of your stuff. So you got to strike this balance of like easier stuff that's good return versus stuff that you really want to make, that you love making, but it takes longer and you don't get as good of a return for the number of hours. And you just got to find the balance. That's what I always try to do. So I always talk to the team here about like when we make stuff, we're like, where does that fit in? Is that our quick one that we get good return on, or is it our one we like to make, but it doesn't yield as much as fast? So there's a lot to consider when you're selling. And you got to like what you're making, otherwise it's not fun. And if it's not fun, you might as well just go get a different job. Right, Amy?
Yeah, I agree. I have fun, and that's why I work here.
There you go. If you didn't have fun, you'd probably be working at Costco. And you get the free combo. All right, this is looking pretty good already. Let me stop this. This is the second. Is that the wind?
I don't know. If it is the wind, I hope it means it's going to rain
The wind is
soon.
like shaking our door like crazy. All right, look at that thing.
Question, do you stop after the last Zona and leave that as the finished, it's done, or do you add anything else on top for acrylics?
Oh, good question. So typically I will stop and leave it. Now, sometimes different resins and different materials, you may need a little extra. So if at the end I'm like, oh, I just need a little more shine or a little more wet look to it, I will take either the number 6 out of Magic Juice and use that, or I'll use Ring Bling, one of our things, or I will use Meguiar's Plastex, which you can get anywhere, plus we sell it. And just one drop of that will make it shine. I mean, if it's good enough for like crazy cars, it's good enough for rings, right? But I'll show you here at the end. We'll do it on this one and see it. All right, this is our last one, white, our last step. So I'm going to really pinch the sides, make sure they're nice and polished. Pinch the top. Keep dipping it so you get the dust off. There's not a lot of dust with this grit, but you just want to get all that off of there. All right. Now I will turn this off, and I'll just pat dry this with my shop towel. And then we'll do the Meguiar's here. So we'll turn this on. We're just going to do one drop. Actually, let's look at it first. So this one, if I was just doing this, I probably wouldn't do the Meguiar's because it looks really shiny. Having the clear in this, it looks really good, the layers. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Meguiar's to see if we get a little extra shine out of it. So where I put the drop of cleaner or polish right there, I'm going to just push right on it. I don't want to use a lot of dry paper towel on this because I can scratch it up if I'm not careful. So I want to keep it in the wet spot of the paper towel. I'm going to stop it. And I have a microfiber cloth right here. So I'm going to slip this off. So you can see how easy this slips off. And that I just turned and polished that, and it didn't slip once on me. So I'm going to turn this. And basically I'm getting all the cleaner and all the polish, the gunk out of the inside. And then I got a microfiber cloth. Oh yeah. That's a winner right there, people. All right, let's see. Nope. This one is closer. So, is it focused? Let's see here. It's hard to get this thing to focus small stuff. Come on, camera. All right, that one's not focusing. Let's switch. Okay. You tell me if it's not in focus. So there you can see the white ceramic with the hurricane, excuse me, got the hiccups. What do you guys think? That's pretty cool looking. If I wore a ring, I'd wear that. Now, Hurricane, we make Hurricane blanks in ring blanks, pen blanks, long pen blanks for kitless, and handle blanks. They work great for everything except kit pens, because kit pens have a tube and there's some clear elements in this, and then your brass will shine through. Even if you paint it white, it just doesn't look quite right. So I would not use these for kit pens with tubes. I would use them for kitless, rings, handles, what else?
You paint your tube or you get
Bottle
white
stoppers.
tubes.
If you have good painted white tubes, it's good. If it's not painted well, it can show up. But this looks really cool. Let's see here.
Hey, didn't you at one point put electric tape on your ring mandrel?
Maybe.
That could make it.
You mean for like fit?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted it just a little snugger, you could put tape around there and do that. But this one actually slid on really nicely. So this one, there's the first step. These are stepped for sizes. And if I just kind of push and squeeze, I'm able to get it right up onto that second step. And then just kind of slide her right off. There we go. Here, take a look. You can make comments on good or bad. Rating 1 to 10.
It's really cool where you can see the core through the clear.
Yeah, well, that's the
This is
beauty of the
great.
white ceramic
Yeah.
with a blank that has clear. It really kind of ties it all together. Versus if it was silver, like a steel core, it would not be as clean.
Yeah, this is really nice.
What's the rating out of 1 out of 10?
I would say it's a solid 8.5.
8.5, wow.
It's kind
That's
of
terrible.
thick. It's a little thick for me.
How large does the mandrel go? So mandrels, ring mandrels are like 4 to 8 or 4 to 8.5, and then like 9 to 14. Those cover 99% of the population. And then we do have a mandrel, I think we might be out, but we got more coming. That's like 15 to 17 or something for the really big fingers. But I think out of all the years, we've sold like 4 of those. So we try to keep them in case somebody needs one, but we don't sell them very often. Most everybody fits in the 4 to 9, 9 to 14 range. So 2 mandrels like this will generally cover you for most things. Carrie is
Carrie's-
coming to look. Carrie, do you want to give your opinion?
Oh.
You want to do a live opinion giving? Remember, don't curse. Here's the mic.
Why would you say that to me? I
What?
would never.
That was funny.
Oh, damn. It's a little wobbly right here, Chad.
No, it's not. Give me that back. Get out of here,
look at
Carrie.
it. It looks really good. Oh, these rolls are really pretty.
Yeah, that's a
Isn't
cool
it
blank.
cool how you can see the ceramic through it?
I'm still disappointed that you cut Dexter's face, though.
Yeah, that was the
That would
Dexter
be-
ring.
But that's really cool.
It happens.
Adequate work, Chad.
Has to happen. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have not made one of these comfort ring cores, is what you want to look for. These are the ceramic. The steel are a great choice to start with because they're $3 or like $3.25, something like that. And they will get you started and a little less costly. Remember, if you make one of these and you don't like how it comes out, you can always cut off whatever you put on it and start over. Ceramic is cool because of the different colors. Now that you guys have seen it, it makes more sense if I show you these pink, blue. I dig the blue, especially like in the Fordite. There's pink and white. So we have black, white, pink, and blue. Black, white, pink, and blue in several different widths. So have a ball. Have a blast.
Carrie is the official inspector.
Thanks, Jim. Or who said that?
Kev.
Thanks, Kev.
All right, everybody go make something. Remember the wand challenge for the Turner's team page if you're on there. If you're not, make a wand anyway and let us know. But have some fun on your lathe. Hey, we all have lathes. Go use one. go use it, right? Anything before we go, you two?
No, I don't think so. That was exciting. I'm excited to go take a little video of it in the sun.
Yeah, Amy will take a video and post it. Will you post it here on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram? There's those. Here's the new one.
Have a really, really great night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching, as always. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And if you don't like us, I would subscribe, because then you can watch more and you can have more exposure.
Legit.
I would just subscribe either way.
All right. Fade out.
All right, Amy, end us on a positive note.
A positive note. Everybody is so great, and I love the chat on our live stream. So we have an amazing community.
That was pretty good.
Community.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
Bye, guys.